I serve as the Director of Religious Education here for a little bit longer. Today is our pageant, so get ready, friends. Over the past couple of years, we have expanded our pageants out of the traditional nativity pageant with the bathrobes and the lobsters to celebrating different winter holidays. A couple of years ago, we did Herschel and the Hanukkah Goblins. Last year, we did the Solstice Badger. And this year, we decided to celebrate something that we could all use a little bit more of: silliness. Jan Brett's book, TheHat, was chosen by our elementary religious education class, using a democratic voting process, of course. And we are excited to share what we have been doing with you all this morning. This is a no rehearsal pageant. And we still have a couple of roles open. Just saying. We need maybe 2 or 3 more people who are not afraid of silliness. So if that sounds fun to you, in a couple of minutes, I'm going to invite our cast to head out into the hall after we do some singing together, and you can just go right ahead and enjoy them. You don't need to tell me right now. You will then be on stage. Jan Brett is a beloved children's author. She shares her love of world cultures through her detailed and charming illustrations. Over the past month, our religious education class has decorated, learned, and chatted about what our pageant would look like. One fun fact we learned was that the author and illustrator actually has her own pet hedgehog named Buffy. And she was inspired to write TheHat when Buffy nosed her way into a sock and got stuck. As a class, we discussed so many things: whether we should have puppets or live action, whether we should have memorized scripts or no rehearsals, and what our story should look like in front of the congregation. Like I said, this is a minimally rehearsed pageant. We have a couple of roles assigned, but we are inviting everyone this morning to join us in the fun and the silliness of acting out the story as we go along. I want to give a big shout out to our behind the scenes team, our junior youth group, and their wonderful poster making skills, as well as handling all of our stage direction. Everyone who helped in the making the props, and of course the parents, who are very helpful and very tolerant. And now he was just there, Jack. Now I'd like to invite up Jack, our intrepid narrator.
Hello, I'm Jack. I have he, him pronouns, and I will be the narrator for TheHat. Okay. Winter was on the way. Lisa took her woolen clothes out of the chest and carried them outside. She hung them up in the fresh air and went back inside. Just wait. After she closed the door, a strong wind came up and blew the clothes off the line, scattering them across the frozen yard. Curious Hedgie came out to investigate what was going on and put one of Lisa's stockings on her head. But when Hedgie tried to pull it off, his nose stuck in the hat. How embarrassing, thought Hedgie. Oh, what will the other animals think? Didn't take long for Hedgie to find out. The small bear cub saw Hedgie and laughed and laughed and laughed. "What's that on your head?" she asked. Hedgie held her head up high, looked right at Baby Bear and said, "Why, it's my new hat. Isn't it beautiful?" Baby Bear looked surprised. She tilted her head to the side and then lumbered off and back into the woods. Goodness, thought Hedgie, I simply must find a way to get this silly hat off my head. But as Hedgie was wandering and thinking, she saw the noisy gander looking down at her. Oh dear, thought Hedgie, just before the gander honked loudly. Oh, look at that! That hedgehog has really flipped her gizzard. My goodness, you look positively ridiculous. Laugh all you want, gander, but tomorrow when it's raining and cold, my hat will keep me dry and warm. Then who will be laughing? The gander looked at Hedgie for a moment and then ran off. Hedgie went right back to struggling to get this ridiculous hat off her head. But before she got any further, she had a feeling someone was watching her. "Meow," said the cat. "What a silly-looking hedgehog you are. With that thing on your head, hedgehogs shouldn't wear hats. You look positively ridiculous, Hedgie." Hedgie was ready this time. "Yes, I may look silly, but my ears will be warm in a snowstorm. You are a cat. You should understand such things." The barn cat thought about this, about the cold weather coming and how she did so hate cold, wet ears. And so off she ran. The barn owl found Hedgie in a patch of brambles, and she wandered over. "Come on, Freddie." Stopping by Hedgie and asking, "Hedgie, is that a hat you're wearing? How funny you look." And her pup, Hedgie was getting fed up. "Oh, but I'll be cozy and dry when it snows, and you will be cold." The barn owl's ears perked up, and off she ran. Off he ran. Okay, bye. Mama Pig walked right up to Hedgie and asked, "Oh, do tell me, what could you possibly be up to, Hedgie?" And Hedgie looked right back at her and answered, "Why, I am making sure my hat doesn't fall off if any icy wind blows up. I wouldn't want to be cold and frozen as winter sets in." Pig thought for a moment. And then she decided to run off. Next, Deer came over and walked right up to Hedgie. Deer, come on. Quickly asking, "What is that ridiculous thing on your head?" That was the final straw for Hedgie. "It's my hat! Of course, my winter hat. Don't you all know what everyone should wear when it's winter? When it's cold and snowy? You call me the silly one." The Deer looked startled. Hedgie was usually so friendly. A little scared, the Deer was, and then off she ran. Hedgie just wanted to be alone. She was so tired of everyone laughing at her, and with this thing on her head, she wouldn't even fit in her den. She didn't see Lisa running after him, the other stocking in her hand. Lisa was calling after Hedgie, "Come back, you silly hedgehog." Hedgie thought, "Oh no, even that girl is laughing at me." I mean, boy. Lisa caught up and pulled the stocking off Hedgie's head. "You ridiculous little hedgehog. Don't you know animals don't wear clothes?" Hedgie headed back for her den, and Lisa started back towards the clothesline. That's when she saw all of her missing clothes. The animals had taken them, and each was thinking, now I am wearing a magnificent hat for the winter ahead." The end.